welcome to New Zealand, and thank you for being with us for the last couple of days. A couple of questions. First one is, what are some of the changes that you see are coming to the L&D community in the world?
Well, I think one of the largest changes is personalization. I think increasingly we have to move away from one size fits all, one size fits many, and talk more about one size fits one. Learners, whether they are our learners or actually us as learning professionals as learners, we want it our way. We want content shaped in the size, the place, and the venue, and the modality that we like. So I think the number one change is understanding, studying, and embracing personalization in the learning world.
Tell us, what can L&D professionals do to prepare for this change?
Well, I think the number one thing is that we have to build learning we would take ourselves. Very often I'll meet a learning designer or an instructor who I ask, what other courses have you taken recently? And they haven't. We have to be learners. If we're learners, we're not that different from the learners in our organization. And if we look at our own tendencies, most of us go on webinars and we do 2 or 3 other things while we're on the webinar. Or most of us will want to watch that shorter video rather than a much longer e-learning module. So I think we've got to remember and embrace the learner inside of ourselves.
And Elliot, tell me, what do you think your insights have been sort of talking to L&D community leaders over the last couple of days?
Well, I mean, there are several things. This is an interesting culture for me as a visitor, in that it's a combination of a culture that obviously has a big root in agriculture, in farming. It has a sense of it being an island, or really 2 islands, but there's a sense of the scale of New Zealand is something you can touch. It's not growing out of proportion. And I also think there's a sense of culture here. I think about the various cultures in your society. We can never lose who we are as we go into learning, and so I think it's important to think about how do we embrace in a culture like this the diversity of the culture, the traditions in the different parts of the culture, and also keep things within scale. I think you have a unique opportunity. I will also say it's an intellectually really alive place. In both my dinner last night with learning professionals and today briefing about 35 folks, every eyeball was alive. It was an intellectually turned on community, and that's enormously exciting for me as a colleague.